Hey y'all, Casey here, and joined by my lovely boyfriend, Brandon Graham,
Mazel tov.
coming to you from the Palms in Las Vegas. Not in our usual setting, but we're off on an adventure, trying something different. But even starting the Vegas portion of the adventure, there was a whole bunch of stuff that came before that.
Oh yeah.
Because we drove down here.
We should start by qualifying that this is the first time that me and you have done a vacation, and this is the first
Well, I mean, we had Olympic Peninsula.
that was an event. That was
an event. I see.
We went off for New Year's, but this is we're both kind of finished big job things, and we're taking a break before kind of jumping back into it. So it's actually hard for me to not work every day.
Yeah,
I have been working every day,
but in a different kind of way. More, I don't know. Like we talked about a bunch of different stories and stuff like that. But,
yeah, I've just been writing
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, big transition moment for us, and just trying to reset, before we turn that next page.
Mm-hmm. So we got into a car.
Sure did. Got into a car with
Brought a
this
cat.
little one.
It's just weird to bring a cat to Vegas, but she's got a gambling addiction, and we just support it.
She's been really actually loving the hotels. She loves once we're not in the moving car. Even in the moving car though, on the second day, she was liking that. She was washing out the windows and stuff like that.
She's been fine. She initially was like, "Where are you taking me to murder me?"
Yeah.
And then she was just like, "Oh, you're just the kind of crazy people that are gonna put a cat in a car and drive him to Vegas."
Okay. So yeah, she came along with us in the car, suitcases, all that good stuff. And we headed for first Eastern Oregon.
We had a full litter box in the back of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like crazy people.
Yep. Okay, so we set out from Portland and headed
You act
east.
so pearl clutching, but you live with me.
I have to edit that now.
Yeah.
That's the. So we've headed east in Oregon and cut through what they call the Oregon Outback, which was just a whole lot of nothing. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the vast majority of this was kind of an interesting endeavor and kind of just seeing open road and nothing.
Yeah. Lot of desert.
But I guess we should talk about the specific, because we got basically best and worst versions of small towns.
We sure did.
So we stopped in a lovely small town where we got local beef jerky that was called Fat Man.
Yeah, Fat Man jerky. It was great. It was like as thin as prosciutto, but mwah. We got cowboy style, which was your jam, and my jam was the maple brown sugar.
Right.
Super good. That small town was Hines. Shout out to Hines, Oregon. Lovely town.
Yeah, and then and we stayed in Winnemucca. That was also nice.
We did. Which was the only hub of major townage in seemingly all of northern Nevada.
Yeah. We went to another town that was completely shut down but looked very fun, where they had, I didn't realize it was a thing in Nevada, but there's lots of things they call car forests here.
Mm-hmm.
Where people just put cars up on their end, and you can go and visit them, and they'll decorate cars. And
Saw some art cars. And this was all in Goldfield.
right. But Nightmare Town, which would be more fun to talk about.
Yes, between Winnemucca and Goldfield was Austin, Nevada.
Oh yeah, so Casey had to make a phone call on the way in. I was like, let's find a place that we can actually stop and eat and on the way, so we're not just pulling over to the side of the road. And so we found this town, and there was one restaurant open.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the thing on the side? It was
Serbian International Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Serbian Christmas. It was this building that was the whole
International Hotel, and then it said Serbian Christmas.
right. the whole town was really fascinating because it looked like it had been built for like a cowboy movie 100 years ago, and then just left it, and then built it up a little bit, but kind of just left it. And there's one restaurant open that didn't really look that much like a restaurant.
No.
I mean, the thing I do like about Austin, Nevada, is that I've never been like something kind of frustrating about the modern world is that every Starbucks you go in feels like a Starbucks. But it felt like once we entered Austin, Nevada, that we had slipped from reality, and it was just like someone who had never left Los Angeles was now writing what he thought Nevada was like. There was a sign in front of the place. What was it? It was basically like,
Oh yeah.
so first there was a Trump 2024
yeah, which
thing.
whatever.
I mean,
it's fine.
I'm fine. I expect to see Trump signs, but it's like, good luck with that. Like, I don't know if that ship's gonna fly.
Whatever. That
Sure.
was not an issue. But what was interesting was on the door of the restaurant, the one restaurant that was open, was a handwritten sign that said, "No masks allowed," which was, I'm very pro freedom and being able to choose what you do. So that this felt like the sort of opposite end of the spectrum of like, no, you cannot have masks in here, and that was interesting.
Yeah. So we talked about it for a minute, and we decided that, like, if we didn't open Pandora's box, we would never know.
That's a good way to put it.
So we went in this.
We also hadn't had, like, there just wasn't food for like hundreds of miles,
Yeah.
like very far. This was where we needed to eat.
Right. So we went in this Wes Craven directed restaurant.
It really did feel like The Hills Have Eyes. It was.
Yeah, and there's just one like old woman in a remarkably dirty shirt. Like it just looked like you'd been leaving bacon on it for a while. And she was like sitting behind a desk or something when we came in.
Yeah, it was sort of set up in the middle of the space. I'm not even going to say restaurant, space.
Yeah, and she had an impressive sore on her face as well, which is always good when you're finding a place to eat.
Graham, that's a little personal.
I mean, it's that actually stuck out to me because you can edit that or not, because I was thinking like, what a good reason to have a mask.
Yeah, I suppose. So we walked into this restaurant, this place, and we saw that the menu was written on the whiteboard. Great. We found what we wanted. We ordered it. She then proceeded to just stare at us for a couple minutes.
I don't know. It was like she got up and asked what we wanted. We just told her, and it was like someone had turned her off, and she just was there for a minute. And I think she was, I kind of realized when we were outside the city, I was like, Casey, looks trans, and I have a big old tattoo on my neck, and so there's lots of reasons for whoever to decide to not like us. But I just sat down at that point. And so she kind of turned on again, and just like started making our food.
Yeah.
And while we were waiting, a couple other people came in, and it was almost this thing of like, I don't know if you noticed, I was kind of making eye contact with people, almost just like this, like, are you sure?
I wasn't carrying at that point, so I did not want to do that.
And there was a good sign in there that said, like, on this date in 1843 at this location nothing happened.
Yes.
Which I believe. And so they ordered, and it was taking a while, and eventually they were like, oh, we actually got to hit the road again, so we got to cancel the order. And
She did not respond very well to that. The proprietor of this establishment not so politely, told them to F off.
No, she said something about what was it?
She said, "You would do that. You always,
You people.
do that."
Which is
And
a,
I'm not sure what group of people that she was referring. They were just like,
they were like white guys that looked like they had trucks.
yeah,
It was like
whatever.
30-year-old guys in baseball caps who probably live in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, maybe. No.
I guess because they were on the truck.
Yeah,
did.
they said, because one of the things they said was, we got a lot of miles to cover. We're gonna cancel our order.
Yeah, with a notable southern accent.
Country accent, but yeah.
Sure.
And then, so they said, sorry, we have a lot of miles to cover. We're gonna cancel our order. She said, you people would do that, or you people, that's what you people do, or something like that.
And then effing and jeffing.
And then they were like, I don't, sorry, and like started to leave. And that's when she loudly said F you to them.
With not even just us in there, but another table of people too.
Yes. And one of those other people, I don't know if you heard this at the time, but said double that. So it was like encouraging her. I don't know, it was very strange. Certainly did not make me want to go back to Austin, Nevada.
I missed that because I was walking out. I made eye contact with those people. I was just going. I was like, enjoy
Good
your
job.
stay.
Yeah, we took our food to go.
Yeah, well, it was an okay burger.
Burger was okay. My BLT was not. But
And then
whatever.
I walked around the neighborhood for a bit because you can't let a
The
place like that go.
neighborhood.
And
A strip of abandoned shops. Yes.
yeah. But I did find a closed bar that was like it said like local events, private events only.
Uh-huh.
They had a great sign in front of it that was no animals allowed, no horses, no dogs, and no snakes of the two-legged variety,
That was very good.
which I appreciated.
I liked that. And it was right next to the library that was seemingly also abandoned.
Yeah, the library looked okay.
Oh, well, it was closed.
I specifically noticed that the library had like a no mask, no entry sign. So I was like, oh, there's contention on the middle of Main Street.
Yeah.
Uh,
Feud there.
Yeah, and I guess, and then, like from then I was just like, okay, this is the mood of the trip, and just to kind of cut to directly to landing in Vegas, we immediately getting to our hotel, we got to the lobby and there was like a security guard having a really dramatic conversation with a couple that was in trouble, like as close to the check-in desk as imaginable. Like
I thought the concierge was like involved in it at first, so I didn't like approach. No, he was not.
do you remember what they were talking about?
Oh yes, I remember what they were talking about. Those people are going to prison.
That was my.
They were talking about there was warrants involved and drugs and guns, and he was asserting ownership on behalf of everyone else.
Right.
So that was a weird,
So weird to-
start to
Yeah.
Vegas.
And we had a moment where I was just like, okay, I gotta, because the previous hotel we were at was such a like cozy, like we're watching Valerian on TV, and
It was just like a lovely Best Western in Winnemucca, you know.
by the way, Valerian, I thought that it was Valerian's Luc Besson who directed The 5th Element, and I'd assumed that it was bad.
Yeah, I don't know why I had to, but I had.
Yeah, but we watched a little bit of it, and it was really cool from what I saw.
Yeah, no, it was seemed quite cool. Like the designs were really rad. Ethan Hawke was in it, who I love,
Oh yeah,
and yeah,
a shape-changing Rihanna.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah, the main love interest looked very similar.
Yeah, that was weird. But
So-
anyways, Valerian seems cool.
But if you're into
watch
that-
when we get back to Portland one of these days. And yeah, Winnemucca was interesting. It's just this like I said, the one sort of hub in what at least we saw of northern Nevada, and it felt like a very, very tiny version of, almost like a small town version of Las Vegas. There's the casinos and all the jazz.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So our hotel, I think the best way to describe it is it's a cocaine hotel,
Yeah.
and it's like
Which we definitely did not realize. This is not what I thought we were gonna get, but here we
yeah,
are.
but roll with it.
Roll the dice.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. It's like it's not really designed for people. The shower is just like from the ceiling onto the floor.
I would say more accurately, it's probably just not designed for people to really stay here.
It is designed for you to bring
Rent on a daily basis,
bring a drunk friend
hourly
over
basis.
and do your drugs and have your sex and get out and not bring your cat. This is not a bring your cat hotel. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're probably there's probably been some cats here, but more in like a I need to hide for a couple days with my cat.
Yeah. Oh, and when we walked into the room, so at check-in they're like, no smoking, which, whatever. But when we walked into the room, immediately, smack dab in the face, just like smells heavily of cigarettes. And everything's like a little bit tarnished. And the what's it called? The shower curtain, I don't know if you noticed this, is partially held on by zip ties.
Oh yeah.
And it does not cover the entire shower, and the shower just like sends water onto the ground with that, and the ground is not separate
And
from
there's
the
like
rest
a
of the
whippet
bathroom.
tank that we found.
Yeah, there's a whippet tank in one of the closets here.
For
The drugs.
the drugs.
It's a drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strangely enough, there is a full kitchen. I don't know who's having cocaine parties and then cooking, but okay, I guess that's happening.
What are you gonna do? Like, I mean, they're not cleaning.
No.
So that's been, I don't know, it's fun. And so immediately we got here and just got tanked.
Yeah, we were very stressed out, so we like immediately beelined it to there was a bar in the hotel, thank goodness, and we got 2 whiskeys, neat, and just like leveled out a little bit, and then we
Yeah,
kept
and
the
then we
party
did
going
what sane, reasonable people do, and we ended up at a 24-hour TJ Fridays.
in an off-strip casino called the Gold Coast, which was just a little sad.
There's a lot of subways here. Like, I've been to Vegas a lot, but I haven't really hung out on the Strip.
And so the reason you're saying that is because there was a subway in the Gold Coast.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
want to qualify how, like, I regard Subway restaurants, like, they're fine. I will eat
No,
at Subway.
They're not fine.
We have different.
They're disgusting.
She's a Quiznos gal.
No. Potbellies.
But so I regard them as like a place that you go when you're like have a shitty job and you're like, this is from my experience. I was like, okay, I have a lunch break. I'm going to go to Subway and get a sandwich. Where Vegas is, everything is so set up in this like veneer of like gambling and party around the Strip. It's funny to me that exists here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got like vomiting hangover for most of the next day drunk. So Mazel Tov TGI Fridays, and the next day I went out and I got coffee. I wandered around.
You're gonna say no. I'm talking about what I got at TGI Fridays
sorry.
because that was amazing.
Mention your war crimes and sort out of Nuremberg.
Yes, it's okay. So yes, we had several more drinks while we were at TGI Fridays to numb the stress. But so one of my drinks was a cotton candy Cosmo. That was awesome.
And what did you get to eat, you terrorist?
It was so good. I got a donut burger. The buns were donuts, and it was whiskey glazed. It was delicious. It felt like the most American thing
I had a salad.
ever. Yeah, he had a salad.
I had a TGI Friday salad, which is like they put a pizza in a blender and showed it lettuce on a video screen.
How did that feel coming up the next day?
Oh no, that was that evening. I don't wait.
The vomit the
Yeah.
next day.
That was that evening and night.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that? Never mind. So that was an experience.
The question is, TGI Fridays worse going in or going out? Is that 50-50?
Yeah, so that was an experience. Now we've gotten settled in, and yeah, happy to be here for sure.
Oh, I
It's
want to
been
point out
weird,
the next
but-
day when I went to get coffee. I spun a wheel and won my coffee from
That's true.
from the mini mart I went to.
Yes.
It's very Vegas. The first time I'd ever come to Vegas, a couple years ago, to stay at with some friends, I was really surprised that they were out farther away, but there was like a 7-Eleven mini mart, and there were
Video poker or slot
there were
machines?
slot machines in the mini mart, and so I wasn't shocked, but it was kind of like, it was a little, it was the fun part of Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that was our arrival.
Yeah. So it's been weird so far, but you know what? That's when the weird gets weird. Wait. When things get weird, the weird get tough. Is that what Hunter S. Thompson said?
Yeah, well, today we started listening to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas audiobook to set the mood for
Which I,
the
of
rest
course,
our
am
trip.
obnoxiously quoting the entire time it's being read because I have both read and seen the movie an embarrassing number
Oh,
of
we named your
times.
car today as well.
We did, yes. Vladimir Nabokar, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty good. Good start. Weird start. But yeah, we're happy to be here and see what else we get up to. Anything else, Brandon Graham?
I think that's the beginning of our trip.
I think that's good for now. Well,
I wrote several comic scripts while we were here, but either way.
thanks for watching. If you got something out of this video, please click those like and subscribe buttons. Until next time.